안녕하세요, 라니입니다. Let me start by apologizing to all my dear subscribers who may have been waiting for this video, which I know has taken a immensely long time, and I really have no good excuses. 용서 주십시오. The first 3-4 months I was in Korea, I thought I had bottlenecked. But now looking back, I have improved significantly. Even just like 3 months ago, I was taking a taxi and I remember not being able to understand what the taxi driver was saying. But last week I took a taxi and I was able to converse with the taxi driver. I had very little difficulty understanding what he was saying, even though he was speaking in the Busan accent. Okay, so without further ado, let me get right into the topic of this video, which is tips for intermediate learners on learning Korean for free. So my first section will be reading. So reading tips. My first recommendation is to, as I've said in my previous videos, force yourself to read as much as possible. So you can do this by changing the language on your phone into Korean. This will definitely push you to, using your knowledge of Korean. Use Korean apps such as Naver instead of Google search, Naver Map instead of Google Map, and this is especially important and especially will be helpful for you if you live in Korea. Also, check out Korean blogs. Try to actively use the Naver search engine. If you're into art, find artists, Korean artists, follow their blogs. Whatever your interests are, I'm sure you can find relevant material that align with your interests and that allow you to read and improve on your Korean. But blog posts are, I would say, actually a little bit more challenging than even a book because of the online language, the internet language that bloggers would use. I also recommend just going to a library and borrowing some magazines or some novels. Again, try to find ones that really do interest you, not just for the sake of learning Korean. And then if you are at a very beginner level, you can start with picture books for kids, which may not be very interesting, but at least it will allow you to be more motivated to continue reading because the level is at the same level that you are at. Another tip I have is to do online shopping in Korean. Especially if you live in Korea, definitely take advantage of online shopping and stop using the English version of the Gmarket website and use the Korean version. Just in every instance that you possibly can, try and use Korean instead of English, essentially, is the bottom line. And in terms of websites and apps that I recommend, first one would be Naver Webtoons, online comics that you can read either through their website, on a PC, or on your phone. They have a Naver Webtoons app in English as well as in Korean. If you are studying Korean, of course, I recommend the Korean app. Try and find a comic that appeals to you. Read through the first few pages. Try to find a webcomic that has clear font and is at a level where you can understand the gist of it without having to translate every word. And then I feel like that is a good level for you to begin at, because then if you can understand the comic, it'll motivate you to keep reading. The next website I recommend is the Humans of Seoul Facebook page. On that website, you'll have a paragraph in Korean, and then underneath there will be an already translated paragraph in English. I would read the paragraph in Korean and try to understand as much as I could. And then I would try and type or write out a translation of it in English. And then I would compare it with the actual English translation. So while you're doing this, just focus on the Korean. Try and really understand the content and the grammar. And I found that doing 1 or 2 of those a day or more if you have time really helped me improve my eye reading. So what I did was I would read maybe 3 of those articles. Each article blog post is only like 1 or 2 paragraphs, so it's not as much as you think. And then I would use the Naver Webtoons and I would read 1 chapter a day. I would read through the comic, and any words that I didn't know, I would just copy and paste the word onto the Naver dictionary, get the translation, and then continue reading. Moving on, my next section will be on writing. So my tips for writing, as I've mentioned in my previous videos, Kakao Talk, download it, find friends, Korean speaking friends, even better if they have limited English, add them onto Kakao Talk and type to them in Korean. Me and my Korean friends, I type to them solely, almost solely in Korean. And I found that my writing has by far improved most tremendously because I practice the most. I chat with my Korean friends on Kakao Talk every single day. Next is to go on talktomeinkorean.com and go through the lessons, maybe one lesson a day if you have the time. What I used to do when I was learning from the website, I would keep a notebook. So let me show you what my notebook looks like. This was the notebook I used. I would go through the lessons starting from lesson 1 and I would take notes. This here was on tenses. And then, when I'm learning, I just took notes on everything that I learned through the PDF. So here, I have, this was from the lesson on to try. So, 써보다, try using, and then I would put an example sentence, 이거 써봤어요, and put a translation, have you tried using this? So I would just do this in different colored pens. I'm not going to go through everything, but I highly recommend keeping a notebook when you're learning from Talk to Me in Korean. Treat it like an actual lesson. So you're already not paying money, you're saving money, so you have to be diligent. So use Talk to Me in Korean, and what's good about the website is also you can create your own sample sentences. They do give some in the podcast and on the PDF, but I find that in order to learn, you really have to create it from your own mind. So I would create sentences using the grammar points or vocab, whatever was taught in the lesson. And just you can type the sentence on their website directly. They have a comment section. And then usually the response is not very fast. So I would recommend actually, if you have Korean friends, I would recommend just writing the sentences down in your own notebook and then bringing it to your Korean friends and getting them to correct it for you. Okay, my next section is speaking. So for speaking, I just have nothing more to say than make Korean friends and speak often. So some of the places you can meet Korean friends, go to LanguageCast. Whether you're in Korea or abroad, like back in Vancouver, they also have LanguageCast run by learners of Korean. Meet those friends, add them on Kakao Talk, call them up, get them to meet up. It helps when you don't just rely on going to the meeting and talking to people, but actually make friends with them and make an effort to call those Korean people out. Also, try and get invited to Korean people's hangouts with their Korean friends. That way, even if it may be awkward, it may be daunting, I completely understand. If you're the only foreigner in a group of Koreans, you probably don't feel comfortable. But I feel like if you really want to learn Korean, you gotta push yourself outside of your comfort zone. So if you're in a group of all Koreans, you're the only foreigner, there is, first of all, no other distraction, no one else to distract you from actually attentively listening to the Korean that's spoken. And then also it will force you, just out of sheer boredom, it will force you to speak and interact with the other Korean speakers. And then if you work and live in Korea, I recommend approaching your Korean coworkers, those maybe outside of your department who don't speak English, approach them at lunchtime, approach them at 회식 or the company dinners, or just find them and, I don't know, when it's Christmas, there's your excuse, try and prepare small cookies to pass out to other departments. Try and just make friends as much as you can is what I'm trying to say. Talk to them. Talk to, if you work at a school, at lunchtime, try and sit next to other Korean teachers during lunch or during 회식, and try and talk to them as much as you can using the Korean that you've learned. Go even further out of your comfort zone, join a church, a Korean church, join fitness lessons, Zumba lessons, dance lessons, K-pop lessons, at your local gym and try and make friends with the other customers there. Or if you have the money, join a personal training lesson, make friends with your personal trainer. Even if you're not friends outside of the workout time, you're still engaging in a lot of conversation during your workouts. Even if you don't understand what they're saying, it's a fitness lesson. So body language wise, you'll still be able to understand and learn the workout, but just even passively, you're listening and absorbing to the Korean. What else? I wrote down here, make friends with your hairstylist. A few months ago, I went to get my hair colored, which is completely faded now, but I'm actually still really good friends with the hairstylist there. I got their cacao ID and I still message them. If you can, just try and make friends with every Korean person you can and really practice talking with them. In terms of my last tip for speaking is pronunciation. In order to improve your pronunciation, I recommend watching dramas, preferably with Korean subtitles. After every sentence, pause the program and repeat what you just heard the actress or actor say. Mimicking is by far the best way to improve your pronunciation. Okay, my last section, it will be on listening. My tips for listening, not that much. Really, again, just make friends with native speakers, get invited to hangouts, and just try and immerse yourself in Korean as much as you can. Listen to podcasts. You can download podcasts, Korean podcasts. If those are too advanced, download the Talk to Me in Korean audio files and listen to them as you're taking the bus to work or whenever. And watch dramas without the subtitles. I feel like that's also a really good way of improving your listening. That is basically the end of my tips. I know I already filmed for more than 20 minutes, but we'll see how much I can cut down in editing. And lastly, I just want to say I have improved tremendously, but I'm still working along at it. You may feel like you've bottlenecked, maybe a few months into your studies. You may feel like, oh, I'm not improving, I'm not, fluent. But actually, if you keep it up without knowing, you'll realize that actually you are improving, even slowly. 3 new words a day is still new words, right? Of course, the speed differs depending on the person, but I can say for sure if you keep up the work, no matter how slowly, you will improve and you will get to where you want to be. So my goals, hopefully by the end of next year, but my goal is to take the TOEIC intermediate exam and pass a level 4 or even a level 5. I don't dream for level 6, but if I pass level 4, I'll be like pretty good at Korean already. Yeah, that's one of my goals. The other one is to be able to go to the bank, be able to go to a phone service company by myself, or if there's something wrong with my air conditioner, I can call the air conditioning company and be able to ask for repairs and just do daily functions like that. Live as an adult by myself here in Korea. And lastly, I do want to be able to understand a Korean drama without subtitles, and I want to be able to eventually go to a movie theater and watch a Korean movie and understand what happened without English subtitles. Right? Because right now I can't do that. Even though my Korean is at a level where I can get myself home on a taxi, I can get a haircut or hair color that I want and understand what the staff is saying. I can do most things by myself, but right now I'm getting a lot of help from my Korean friends, from my co-teacher, and really all the complicated adult matters I'm not really dealing with by myself, and I would like to. So I guess my goal is to be able to get to a level where I can live like my parents have lived abroad, actually without help. Oh, that's a lot of speaking. And yeah, that's the end of my video. If you have any tips you would like to share, any know-hows to learning Korean, please comment below, share with me and those watching this video. That would be greatly recommended and also appreciated. Thank you very, very much for watching this video and subscribe for more. I know I haven't been the best YouTuber Please forgive me. Thanks for watching. 안녕히 계세요. 안녕히 계세요. 안녕히 계세요.